get all the interior and exterior noise, all that shit. As soon as you are able to take control of that, then you can kind of figure out how you want to navigate everything else.
When you leave, whether you do your time and walk away, two things. The first part is find something. This is not your identity. Putting on that uniform is not your identity. The second part of that is when you walk away, hang it up. It's okay.
From a data standpoint, like there's more people in the country now that could not afford a $500 emergency to cover a $500 emergency than ever before. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Signal Fire Radio, a show where a bunch of military veterans and our friends get together to destroy the villainous philosophy of self-doubt by having encouraging conversations designed to feed the mind, strengthen the body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe. We also do that while drinking energy drinks now. It's become somewhat of a theme of our show because we are sponsor thirsty, Chris, is how I might say that. And so we're sporting Reign energy drinks today. So if anybody from the Reign family of energy drinks wants to get in touch with us and throw us some sponsorship dollars to make this show work, man, we would be open to that, wouldn't we, Chris?
Or just a cooler with unlimited energy drinks for us. So Brett Bauer, we're going to call you out. And somebody in town that can make that happen, Don Verity.
Ooh, Don, good guy.
Don, make that happen. We need a Reign cooler like you've got in your office.
Yeah, Don was a guest of the show. I think in season 2, maybe. He's doing great things with Clean Eats and Clean Eats Foundation. And he took over the Chuck E. Cheese over there on Oleander.
He did.
And he's turning that into his corporate office
and
now.
He's got a new project. I don't know if you've seen this. Got a little sneak peek. He bought a bunch of land, and they're getting ready to do the Verity and Verity Farms.
Nice.
They're going to have a wedding venue and all that.
Love that.
But, yeah, we need to get him back on. And
everybody's taking my land idea. I think
he can make that cooler happen.
Yeah, you were the first person to buy land.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think I was the first person to buy land. I'm a trendsetter.
I like that.
I'm starting a new trend, Brandon Pettyjohn, Esquire.
Being just disgustingly good looking.
PLLC. Well, thank you for saying that. My trying on some new personal branding items right now.
Let's hear it.
I first I was the guy with the hair in town. I had the long hair, and I still have it, but it's not nearly what it was.
Sure.
But for the last 2 summers, I tried doing hot boy homeless summer, where I just look like a disheveled grizzly of a man with that beard, and it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm over the beard, but I want to keep the hair, but I like having some level of facial hair. So I went with this little caterpillar crawler above the lip here, a little mustache.
It's a lip jacket.
A little lip jacket?
Just a little
like
flavor
that?
saver. I like that.
Does it work on me though? Because I'm still trying it out. I feel like it looks good on me. The kids didn't run in horror, so I feel like I might have something working.
Can we get rid of the beard?
You think?
Yeah, take the beard down. It's just a big stash.
Just a shot.
Yeah, because when I first cut it, it was like a shadow, and then it's kind of grown in a little bit because I'm lazy. Really, that's the only reason why I have facial hair is because I'm super lazy.
Well, it grows so well. It looks good on you.
It does look good.
Go ahead.
You need now mustache, clean shave, everything else. You got the hair, and since people like to go retro. What if you got one of those retro visors that has like the green bill, like that you can see through?
Oh yeah.
That would be.
I am going to be in Vegas next week,
There
so
you
that
go.
would kind of be.
Yeah, it would fit.
Apropos to wear it.
Staying?
I'm staying at the Hilton World Resort.
Nice.
Being the first time staying there. I'm going to get my craps on. I'm going to get my blackjack on.
Nice.
I'm working a convention, so I'm going to have a little bit of fun, mix it with some pleasure. You just got back from Vegas last week, right? Or just a couple
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
How was your experience in Las Vegas?
It was good. We stayed at the Westgate. First time I've stayed there.
Okay.
A little bit of a legendary resort. That's where Elvis lived for 9 years.
Nice.
I've got that face where sometimes good things happen to me, right? And so I get there. They're like, "Hey, $100 and we'll upgrade you to a suite." And I was like, I will spend $100 more.
Deal.
Stupidly. So
yes, deal.
So we had a nice suite. It was really cool, but I left on Thursday, middle of a hurricane, right? Hurricane dissipated. It's just rain, Get to Vegas, they had torrential downpours, flash flooding, and sinkholes everywhere. I was like, what?
What's going on?
Yeah,
What's
I know.
going
I just
on?
couldn't get away from it.
We have fires in Maui and in Greece. We have flash flooding at Burning Man and in Nevada.
The Burning Man stuff is crazy.
That's wild.
That's wild. And speaking of Maui, I know we talked about it, but I love, this is random, sorry. I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Big fan.
Yeah, huge.
But did you see the video of
With
him
and Oprah?
Oprah?
It was so cringy, man.
A billionaire and a 100 millionaire
I know.
asking for donations.
I know.
Why don't you just give up some of your money?
Is The Rock a billionaire yet?
He's at least 100 millionaire.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the top grossing actor for a number of years.
I bet he's worth $500 million.
You think so?
I would
Yeah.
assume.
Well, I think his tequila brand was like the fastest growing alcohol. I mean, the guy is golden. It's funny, you see a lot of these actors, and this definitely isn't one of our topics of conversation today, but it will tie in a little bit later. You see actors like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and Hugh Jackman, and all these guys are profiting off their personal brand that they built as actors and creating all these additional revenue centers for themselves. Like Ryan Reynolds and
Mint Mobile.
the guy from the other Dennis, not Glenn Howerton, Mac
It's
from It's Always Sunny.
McElhaney. Rob McElhaney.
Rob McElhaney. They own a soccer team now, and like
and
they
Ryan Reynolds,
won.
and he owns Mint Mobile too.
Yeah, Mint Mobile. So like, what a great ability to support. Like, you build a personal brand through the thing that you do, and then you become known for that thing, whether it's lawyering or whatever schlupping around it is that I do, and then being able to leverage that into additional business opportunities to make money elsewhere in places you might not have thought you were going to when you first set out on that path.
And I feel like that's a good lesson for a lot of people too. And we've talked about this concept before, where it's like, build your personal brand. Don't build up the brand of whatever umbrella you're under, right? So like when you're doing insurance, right? It's like, do I brand myself or do I brand, the
company
Sierra
I'm working
Foxtrot,
for? Yeah. Sierra
so,
Foxtrot, that's good code name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so so it's like, and I feel like actors traditionally, we saw like that, like hit it, and then they spent all their money, and then all the movies dried up,
right.
And so like, it's smart for these new actors, or this new generation, where they are building that personal brand, and it's a good lesson for us lesser peasants as well.
The
hey,
plebes.
yeah, don't just like, if you got your hand in something, you're a little bit of entrepreneurship, maybe you bought a franchise, brand yourself as much as possible under the umbrella of the franchise. Don't brand the franchise, because that could go away. You're going to be here.
Yeah. I very specifically built my own personal brand because I was like, man, there's billions of dollars that move over to branding the company.
Right.
I'm not going to afford a Super Bowl commercial or to be able to have this hired paid spokesperson, but I can be my own paid spokesperson. I can leverage that, and I can build up who Rob Renz is within a community, and that has led to so many different opportunities. That's such a great point. Yeah,
and especially with my brand, like on social media, is very open, honest. I'm me. I'm trying to be authentic, and people have literally hired me because of that reason. I always tell people, there's 1,000 attorneys in this town, 1,000 people in the bar. A client could go pick any one of them, and we could do the same quality of work, the same job, maybe different results. But at the end of the day, they got to like you. And so if you build a good personal brand, you're likable, then people are going to come to you because of that reason, and then the business will follow.
Social media is such a great place to do that too. To just and I like the way that it allows you to just put who you are out there. Like, there's no real rules around it. Like, sometimes I feel myself like responding to a comment in a way that I would talk to one of the boys.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, should I do this? Because there might be people looking at it and be like, well, that's not very professional. I never throw out F-bombs or anything crazy like that. But at minimum, I might respond back with some slang or vernacular that I would use in a regular conversation. And every time I go, maybe you should think twice about putting this, like somebody might watch it, I'm like, nah, I'm just going to say it exactly as I want to say it.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah, don't care. I don't care what you think.
What about you, Chris?
What about you, Chris? What do you think? I like how we're sandwiching Chris right now.
So being authentic is one thing. We all know that Brandon's very authentic.
He's the best.
I mean, and
although today he did put something up that made us believe that he had lost the beard.
We did.
Only to walk in.
Yeah.
So that was your guys' fault, because not only in the caption did I say throwback, it also said on this day, 2021.
Didn't read all that. I saw Brandon with a fresh face, and I was like,
they care enough to make fun, but not enough to support. I don't know. That was stupid.
But no, I mean, so I'm gonna put Brandon on a pedestal for a minute. He is
needs some of that.
He's on social media. He's a chameleon. I mean, he changes. I mean, he does his lawyer stuff. He's doing his personal stuff. He's got his jujitsu, and then you know what? And then there's always that little sprinkle of family on top of it, and it works. And I think that's part of the making it personal.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sit up there and wear a cowboy hat and call yourself Turd Ferguson if you want to, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Turd Ferguson.
Who are you without the cowboy hat on?
It's a great point because I think maybe in previous iterations of the way that people like us would try to build themselves up in terms of their personal brand, it was always very one-dimensional. It was like, I am a lawyer and I am put together and this is why you should hire me. But now it's like people don't really respond to that nearly as much as they do the joke stuff that you put up, or just the you having fun, or the family, or you're building community in different within different real estate, different social media real estate, but within different lanes of content where it's like you're bringing new people to you. Has anybody that started following you off of a jiu-jitsu post, for example, hired you as an attorney?
I want to say yes, but I can't pinpoint a certain person.
Yeah.
But yesterday had a consultation with a woman who, a lot of times people ask, like, hey, you're a smaller firm, you're a one-man operation. Like, how do you feel about going against this bigger firm? My answer is always, I don't give a shit, because I am pretty confident in the quality of my work. And honestly, the biggest difference between a small firm and a big firm is just the amount of people you're paying. And so, but she was like, yeah, no, I saw your IG. I can tell like you don't really give a shit. So, and that's why I like you. And that's why I'm going to hire you. And she paid me. And it was cool. It reaffirmed, that it's not for everybody, my content, but hey, if you can't have fun and smile and laugh, then I don't want you around me.
Right.
I don't want you as a client. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things, like if you're going to be a pain in the ass for me and have zero, just understanding that I'm a person as well. I don't need the business that bad.
How do you balance that, man? Like, not taking yourself too seriously, which is one of the qualities that I really love and admire about you.
You're so sweet. You guys are just really pumping me up. I like
man,
it.
well, you're in the suit and tie today. It's like I just feel like I need to sprinkle a little bit of extra love onto you. But not taking yourself too seriously, but then doing a kick-ass job when it's time to like strap up and like do work.
Yeah. It's taken, like everyone posts the good stuff. That's all we ever do is post the positive stuff. And so, yeah, everyone's taken some L's and made some mistakes and stuff like that. But really, that was just like a journey with my mental health throughout the years. And I was fortunate enough to where, like, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to college for 4 years and went to law school, and I was able to like work during that time as well and kind of figure out, I feel like, I'm 11 or 12 years post Marine Corps right now. And I feel like I've finally been in a place in the past like 24 months where I'm like feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge part of it. Knowing that, like, just like, hey, getting all the interior and exterior noise, all that shit, as soon as you are able to take control of that, then you can kind of figure out how you want to navigate everything else. And I feel like that's been, there's that journey for me. Everyone experiences a transition, whether it's, from the military, law enforcement, all that, you kind of lose a little bit of your identity. And so reestablishing that and kind of using social media as a platform was super, super helpful.
Yeah. You think it was like part of the healing journey?
So I think that was a little bit. I think jiu-jitsu has been a huge piece of that. Just like, honestly, when I worked for my first firm, I didn't really it was a weird situation. Like, I didn't work for them, but I did. And so like finding like myself and like being a business owner and going through the first couple of years of that, I don't know, just feel I'm very fortunate in a good spot right now.
In a good spot. I love that. You say like 12 to 13 years removed. October 7th of this year. So what is it?
23?
It's September 6th right now. Yeah, so like 30 or so days from now, it will be 20 years to the day that I stepped on the yellow footprints at Parris Island.
That's wild.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me that 20 years has gone by like that. But that also, had I stayed in, I'd only right now be getting to the point where I'd be like able to retire fully.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me that 2 decades have just gone by like that.
Yeah, no, it's.
I don't know how to feel about that.
It's.
I'm feeling older.
I know. I feel very old.
A little
Easy.
wiser. Yeah. Said the only guy that's over 40. I don't feel old.
Right.
You know, I don't
right.
feel old.
Well, I mean,
like,
when you walk,
just
but
feel
when you leave, whether you
some
know
time has passed.
whether you do your time and walk away, retire, whatever it is. 2 things is the first part is one of the things that I told my young guys, long time ago. Find something. This is not your identity. Putting on that uniform is not your identity. You've got to have something outside, whether it's jujitsu or, you know, I love to shoot just as much as the next guy, but don't make that your own, your identity is going out and shooting.
I'm a tactical Terry for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Those guys do crack me up.
You know, but finding something.
We know some of them.
We know
They've been
them.
on the show,
Yeah.
but we love them nonetheless. I'm gonna get text messages. What are you talking about me?
You talking about me? But finding something to do outside.
Yeah.
And then the second part of that is when you walk away, hang it up.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, guys, I don't know about, statistic wise, for guys getting out of the military, guys that stay in law enforcement for a full career and they retire out, there's a high statistical average of them dying within 10 years of retiring.
You know, I noticed too about. I think it's more prevalent in LEO community than it is military, but maybe not. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. But I noticed that LEO wives make being an LEO wife they're like a big part of their personality.
Man,
Really?
let me
a
tell you
lot of
something.
blue
I don't see-
flags
I
was
on
a-
their
look,
car.
I didn't
Listen, hang on.
run within a lot of cop circles, man. So
I
I
was-
don't.
listen,
This is all
listen,
new
no,
information
hang
to
on,
me.
hang on.
Give me the real deal.
Hang on, wait a minute.
Show me the seedy underbelly.
First
of
off,
this.
I don't know how many times when I was a young police officer in a town that was near a military base that I would stop a car and I'd stop a female and she would say, "Do you know who my husband is?"
Oh, really?
And I said, "Ma'am, quite frankly, I don't care. Let me see your license and registration."
Yeah. Was she referring to somebody that was stationed on Camp Lejeune or somebody with your?
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
Although I did stop one of my higher superiors.
Did you
wife
come
once.
across any badge bunnies over that law enforcement career?
I have a great friend who's retired, and the statute of limitations has not exceeded itself. So that's going to be the answer. And
Great non-answer.
That's what he would
Brandon's
say.
been
So-
training you on the
Let's
lawyer
go.
answers there, right there. Can neither confirm nor deny. I love it. I do want to. Okay, so then off the mic, then maybe you can tell me a little bit more about this allegation that Brandon is making regarding cop wives.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Is there-
But no, I
there's
mean, I know,
Facebook
It's all
group
good.
of
hang on,
stock
It's
hang
all
on.
in
You know
good
what?
fun.
Yeah,
One of
of
the
course.
things that I was married a lot of my law enforcement career, and one of the things that I never did, and I would never let her do, is none of us had blue line flags on our cars. Don't fly that.
It's drawing some attention to
It
yourself
does draw.
too.
it draw-
Yeah.
Hey, there's the red line ones, and they can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want
They're
to
not
be
targets.
if you want to be liked in a civil service profession, be a fireman. If you want to be hated, strap a blue on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So, but yeah, I didn't want her to do it, but also, I was also in positions doing undercover narcotics, was a SWAT team and stuff like that. So I didn't want that extra attention brought to me.
Right.
So, but yeah, there are some that are like my husband's a detective. The other cop wives don't like that.
No, they don't.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
So there's ranks even within the hierarchy.
So it's very similar to the military.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband's a pilot.
Yeah, we are a staff sergeant now.
Yeah. I can only think of that TikTok. He's a Marine. And then you got
First
that
to
gunny
fight, he's
standing.
loyal.
Yeah. Oh my.
Honor, courage,
Who thinks that's a
commitment.
good idea? Who's like, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna edit it
Hey.
and then I'm gonna post it.
It must have been good.
It must have been good. Yeah.
That's the only reason.
He looked like he was standing there just going along with it. Like, yes, honey, whatever it is that you want, I'm going to stand here at parade rest and do this thing
Maybe
for
he was
you.
just trying to get kicked out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
TK asked us if we want, and I think probably 2 weeks from now, like we'll be able to do reaction videos in here. So maybe we
Yes,
just go
sweet.
through TikTok and
I
we
love
look
it.
for bad military TikToks.
I love it.
And then we respond to it.
Yes.
All right, TK, there you go. We've got our marching orders on that.
Let's go.
Which, by the way, TK, I've never heard you refer to yourself as the Mighty Teak, but I really like that nickname for you, like Mighty Teak or Big Teak. I think.
Can we
that's-
also get like an engineer's mic over there for him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
like
so we can
that.
talk to Jamie in the
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah.
J-Mo, pull it up.
We're building a new studio. I'm super pumped about it. It's going to have all that high-end cool
Where?
stuff.
When? How?
It's right behind Greenfield Lake Amphitheater. It's a little closer to downtown, walking distance from like Harp,
Yeah.
Nice.
Mariposa,
Yeah.
Satellite, stuff like
You're
that. Yeah.
building like the
Building it inside of a big
Got it,
warehouse,
got
huge
it.
warehouse. Yes, we're building something custom. So more to
Dude,
come. More to
I'm
come on that
excited.
front.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's pull a little bit longer on a thread, Brandon and Chris, that we've talked about throughout this season, and that is the usefulness of veterans, and especially when it comes to crisis mitigation. So this is what's triggering this thought right now. So Bud Light had a big issue not too long ago. I don't care where you stand with it. That's not the point. The point of this is that over the weekend, over Labor Day weekend, was spending some time with my in-laws out in Southern Pines. Great weekend. We rode over to my father-in-law. We rode over, picked up some groceries, and a Bud Light radio commercial came on. And it was the Folds of Honor. And it felt very pitchy to me to be like, hey, forget the thing that we did that a lot of you didn't like. And please remember us for the things that we did do that you did like. And it was like, for 13 years, we've supported Folds of Honor.
Right.
And it was like somebody in marketing was like, hey, we're bleeding revenue. Because that is real. That's factual. Is that enough people felt strongly about some of Bud Light's decisions that they are going from the #1 most distributed light beer to like they're losing market share and they're losing revenue like crazy.
Right.
So somebody in marketing was like, guys, we got to fix this. Let's crank up the veteran machine. So are we back to being useful tools again to sell more beer now? Not necessarily to get policies passed or anything along those lines. It just continues to show itself over and over and over again to me that they're like, we got to get veterans to buy beer now. Like, what should we do? The Folds of Honor. That's what we'll do. Am I off base?
No, not at all. Like I said, I think I fully believe that Toby Keith is a part of the military-industrial complex, and that he's just waiting for another war to pop off.
Listen, man, he's already writing lyrics about Ukraine
That's
right now, and
that's
Russia, and World War III, and whatever. It's coming. We're gonna get a Toby Keith banger, and all of a sudden, Halliburton's gonna win a $2 trillion contract.
No, yeah, so marketing professionals did a really good job over the past 50 years, and this isn't backed by any data, but from my perspective, I think that marketing professionals have done a really good job over the past 50 or so years to paint corporations in a light that they are inherently good and or bad. And so they try to use like, oh, we support Folds of Honor because it's what we want to do. Like they're trying to build this persona that this faceless money machine is somehow cares, right? Or they care about something. Well, in reality, they support these nonprofits because there's tax incentives to do it.
Yeah.
And just the same thing, I always mash the no if you want to round up for St. Jude, because I will donate myself. I'm not going to give you the credit.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the money and you're going to donate it and write it off.
Yeah.
So 100% corporations and the people who run them are, I just got done watching Painkiller on Netflix.
Is
Have
it
you guys
good?
seen that?
No,
Very
I
good.
haven't.
It's about Purdue Pharma and OxyContin and how they lied and marketed it improperly. So this is a great conversation. for me,
No,
'cause I'm
you're
all-
telling me that
Yeah.
Big Pharma
Right.
might make some obscure overtures about the things that they're trying to push and peddle?
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
No, but yeah, so like, so we get these commercials where they're like, "Hey, we're back. We're still supporting the little guy." It's bullshit. No, you're selling poison to people and you're marketing it as, that if you're a good person, you'll buy our poison. Yeah, we are used and abused, but so is the rest of the United States. And I'm very much of, I'm a capitalist, hey, make your money, do what you want, but people should just at least know that they're full of shit.
It feels like the plebes again, the normal folks. We're getting a little bit more aware of that cynical ploy to part us from our money. At least the circles that I run in. Are you sensing the same thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. You see it going back to talking about Bud Light and some of these other larger businesses that lost money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are way more aware now that, hey, look, they're trying to get us back. There was a picture of Kid Rock floating around holding Bud Light.
Right.
And set up the
like a recent picture?
I think it was an old picture.
Yeah.
I think he
blasted it with his AR, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, no, there was that, but no, this was
God,
like
Kid
this
Rock
came out
is
like
a cultural icon of ours, isn't he?
couple of weeks ago, and it says the president of the boycott said it's over or something like that. And they were trying to run that.
Yeah. That came straight from the Bud Light Twitter page or X page, right?
I think it was
We're all good, guys.
I think it was an old picture from years ago.
Yeah, it had to have been.
So, but he's holding a big old tall boy.
Kid Rock doesn't strike me as the kind of person to like forgive and forget very quickly. I think he's the kind of guy that might hold a little bit of a grudge.
Yeah,
he is the bull god after all.
He is. I'm inherently a pessimist because I'm an attorney. Because I have to look at both sides. I can't just be like, oh, this is rosy. People sometimes I have to like explain to them in a consultation where I'm like giving them the other side, the devil's advocate side. I'm like, I have to look at both sides. And so I always look at both sides of a situation like that. And I think that more people are becoming a little bit more of a pessimist when it comes to corporations and stuff like that, because they're just printing money while everyone else is kind of, sitting back trying to just make it.
Yeah. Are you finding, Brandon, that you're being more critical when you're making buying decisions based off of what it is that you're buying and who you're buying it from, I guess?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish I was. I'm still very much, it's like, I talk out one side of my mouth and the other side I'm like, I love Amazon.
Right.
I do everything I can.
Right.
I order everything I can.
It's so
It's
convenient.
I
Yeah.
know. No, but I've started buying some stuff now that, I'm, in a place financially in my life where I can spend a little bit more money on stuff. And so like, I started buying like
Make
Origin
yacht purchases.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
It's like Origin, so they're Jocko's company. They make all their clothes in the United States, and so like I started buying stuff from them. Their jeans are stupid expensive, but it's like, it's a U.S. company,
right?
Veteran ran.
They're built for thickums like you.
Yeah, if I got to buy some jeans, I can either pay $125 at Lucky or $175 from Jocko. I'll give him the extra $50.
Yeah, Jocko's not doing too well. We got to make sure that we're still that $55,000 an hour speaking fee only goes so far.
He needs us to talk about extreme ownership. And I'm still of the opinion that special operations aren't the only veterans out there. So
no,
get off your freaking high horse.
Have you ever? No, we need to support more Navy SEALs. We need more Navy SEALs.
We need more books.
Yeah.
We need more books.
Need more Navy SEALs on my feed telling me to get up at 4:05 a.m. and go for a 42-mile run and then start a side hustle and then sell the side hustle by 11:30 a.m. and make $100,000 off of it. Are you more cynical or more judgy, I guess, maybe with your buying decisions, Chris?
Only my beer.
Only your beer?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you like a microbrew guy?
I am.
Yeah. Local beer,
I try
craft brew.
Yeah, I try to keep it in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. But every now and again, I like a good big brand, the good Modelo.
Yeah.
Which is actually, they've taken their number one in beer sales for domesticated beers right now.
Modelo is? Who owns Modelo? Still, yeah. See, that's the thing that and like Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble, like 3 huge companies own the majority of every single brand. And so that makes me like really get choosy about where it is that I'm buying stuff, because it just seems that the only way that we really have to protest any longer is with our wallet.
Right.
So we still have buying power. But all of these companies, more and more and more, we talked about in the last episode with the Palm thing, or before that it was debit cards. There's just like this hyper push to separate us from our money. And financially, Americans are in the worst position that they've ever been in.
Are we?
Well, I mean, from a data standpoint, like there's more people in the country now that could not afford a $500 emergency to cover a $500 emergency than ever before. So maybe it's our financial discipline has gotten to a point where, we're not on top of it nearly as much anymore, which is going to create a bigger problem down the road. Social Security's running out. Like there's not going to be public retirement funding for a wide majority of people. So if you can't cover $500 emergency expenses, like how are you planning for your retirement outside of what's going to be given to you from your contribution to Social Security? So I see some of these like societal issues in the moment that we're in right now is like, okay, we can start making some real hard decisions about where we spend our money, how disciplined we are financially, and take some of that power back from these corporations who are just consolidating and then marketing heavier and advertising more in ways that are so obviously cynical. Like you put it, like
pandering.
Like, okay, like I'm not gonna go buy Bud Light now. One, because I don't drink anymore, and I definitely don't drink light beer anymore. But I'm not gonna go buy it just because all of a sudden you're back to Folds of Honor again. You know, it's like, oh, we support veterans again. Like I'm done. I can see all through your bullshit. Like I'm over it. I'm over it.
Although again, being the devil's advocate, a friend of ours messaged me a couple weeks ago. I made a post about, like saying something like, "Hey, the Starbucks person knows who I am." Like I go to Starbucks way too often, apparently. And basically, he replied to my story and was like, "Yeah, just support local and they sell fake food and all this stuff." And my response back was, it's coffee. It's $5. If there was a local one out here, I would do that.
Right.
But in Leland, there's two options. I don't like, just personal preference. Don't like Port City Java.
Yeah.
And Starbucks and Dunkin' are the only other two. And then I also said, but also, life's too short to be mad at everybody about everything.
Right. That's a good point.
That's like when people a couple years ago about Chick-fil-A, the gays hated it and then the Christians hated it.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, make the lines a little bit less long.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, yeah, I can boycott a product, but I am just one small piece and you're never going to get everybody to do it. So
that's a great video that you just gave me a concept on. Like pick XYZ thing. And all of these people left side of the aisle are pissed off and picketing it. And all these people on the right side are pissed off and picketing it. And then somebody like you is just walking right down the middle of them, no line at all whatsoever, right? Yep. Just showing up and getting your thing and paying and happily leaving.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in a weird spot, I think, as a society where we just like we put so much value on things. And then we try to moralize those things, either for our side or against the other side. When in reality, it's like, hey, why don't you just like take care of your family, take care of your local people, and just not worry about the broad national problems? Because most people you poll who are really into politics probably can't tell you who their city council person is for their district. They can't tell you who their state senator is, who their state representative is, and that's where shit has to change. Has to change on the lower level first, and then candidly, from the federal level, we're pretty screwed.
Yeah,
I mean, we're trillions of dollars in debt.
33 trillion.
Our representatives can't pass a single piece of meaningful legislation without lobbyists dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into it, including the PACT Act.
Yeah,
So it's like, just why don't you go to the local level where you can go to a town hall, have your voice heard, and potentially make change there instead of, trying to. You just get you get overloaded too. If people who are on like X all day or Twitter, you can spend your whole life just pissed off.
Oh, dude, just recently, and this Chris and I were talking about this, Brandon. Well, before you got here, it's like I took off all the overstimulating social media apps because I was spending so much time on it. Like mine was Instagram, right? I would, because I'm 38, so I would see the TikToks that people posted 2 weeks ago on Instagram.
I was wondering
like
why
every
Signal
other
Fire hadn't accepted my collaboration invite.
Oh, dude, that's not on me. We hire people for that.
Oh,
so
that's on them.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation about that because business still needs to happen. Transactions still need to be happening on social media in order for me to grow my business.
Yep.
But I was getting lost in it. Like I found I was spending so much time when I should have been doing things that benefited me more, like reading a book or working in the yard or going and exercising. It was like I was just getting lost in this labyrinth of social media. And that was adding to my level of stress and anxiety too, as well. Because then you're like, what's happening? Like, I need to be
Right.
keeping up with all of these things. And it was like, forget that. I'm taking all these off of here.
Chris, this is actually your intervention for Instagram.
Yeah. Chris sends some
I'd be like
quality
6:30
stuff.
in the morning. I'm getting like 18 memes from him already. I'm like, oh, Chris is pooping.
The meme sharing though, for real. Like that's high quality memeing
Absolutely.
in there.
I save them up for like 6 or 7 hours, and
Yeah.
I'll go to the bathroom, and I'm like just like cracking up.
You'll just get 100 hearts from me all of a sudden. Like, Renz is pooping. But like I had to remove it, and then Chris, you were talking about like in the course of your move now, like you don't have things like internet and some of the things that we have decided are absolutely necessary for modern life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need any of that stuff at all. I live in a trailer right now. We don't even have running water. Like I have to fill it up from a hose off of the well. And we're happier now, I think, as a family that we've ever been, especially when we remove those distractions from us and like grow our own food and tend to our chickens and have game nights and crap like that. Like, is that where it's slotting back to?
It is. Last night I was sitting there. It was quiet. No TV. No internet, no nothing. It's minimal cell signal out there. I sat there in the chair and just looked outside.
What'd you think about?
It was quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't think of nothing.
Yeah.
I just sat there and just disappeared off.
Yeah.
But it was so quiet. I didn't hear no cars going by. There's no street lights. It's dark out.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see like some big critter like jump up on the back porch. And then I wish I
like
was
a gnarly raccoon or something.
Yeah, something.
It's just, Wah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up there and start dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do like an invisible fence for Jay, or
No, he doesn't run off.
Yeah, that's true. I just didn't know if he saw something, if he would take off through the woods.
Well, the neighbors got dogs. I saw him let dogs out, and they're fenced in. And I was waiting to see if he would like run towards the fence, and he didn't.
Yeah, I'm amazed at like how our critters know their boundaries, because like it's just a tree line that separates our property from our neighbors, and the chickens don't wander past it.
Yeah.
The dogs will chase a deer or something if we have one, but they always come back. They just kind of know where they're supposed to be. Give them a little bit of freedom, and they're like, "Oh, this is my territory. I'll stay here. I might wander every once in a while, but I'll come back to it." I think you have to have that, Chris. Like it, and we have to be. I think there's, for people like us and the listeners of our show, it's like you want to be engaged, you want to be ambitious, you want to pursue some of these things, and social media or digital media, all that stuff is a necessary tool. But more and more we're finding with the elder millennials, I think, my peer group, that like moderation is absolutely necessary, and disciplining yourself around it, and then being able to just sit in the quiet and unplug yourself from that, which is can be a hard thing to do, because you're really rewiring yourself when you're really engaging with it. Like if you watched Social Networks, like some of those documentaries that really shows the brain science behind what's happening. It's easier for people in our age range, especially because we have self-discipline. We do things to discipline ourselves. But for the younger generations, man, that's going to get harder and harder and harder, especially if like that's their thing, if that's the only thing that they have to do.
Yeah, it's super important to have something that you can set aside your time each day where you're not just glued to a device.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's jiu-jitsu. Like for an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, I don't worry about texts. I don't worry about calls. I don't worry about emails. I don't worry about notifications. And, and I'm doing something physical for me. But even if it's just like at night, sitting on the porch, reading a book, or just drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, whatever it is, like just not connected, it does help.
You reading any good books right now?
No.
I am not.
No, certainly am not. I just got done. Well, actually, so I just picked it back up. I put it down for a little bit, but with The Old Breed from Sledgehammer, from
I don't
the
know
guy
that one.
from the Pacific, is what the Pacific was based off
Okay,
of.
okay.
With The Old Breed at Pele Lou and something. And then I've also got Helmet for My Pillow by Robert Leckie. So
Nice.
two Pacific theater guys that wrote about their experiences. Very good books.
I'm reading The Old Lion right now, which is kind of a Jeff Shahara is the writer. It's about Teddy Roosevelt, and you want to talk about like a larger than life figure. Like that dude is incredible. I tried to do like a historical sort of book mixed in with like a business strategy book. So I'm doing Blue Ocean Strategy again for the 5th year in a row. So I'm mixing those two together. So hearing about people like a Teddy Roosevelt who had big ideas and big visions and huge challenges to deal with, but was just like, I'm just going to put my head down and I'm just going to fight my way through this and work my way through it and be persistent over several decades. To somebody like me, it's like really encouraging to go, all right, like you're in the middle of something thick right now, but just keep going and keep going and keep showing up and keep doing the things, and eventually you'll break through to a point where you're like, all of that is in the rearview mirror now, and I've just got this huge windshield of life and adventure and opportunity ahead of me. Just a nice little reminder every once in a while. How about you, Bradley? You read anything good?
I have a book sitting there for me to start reading once I finish my move. And Branded Hero, Goggins' second book.
Yeah,
I want to read it. Yeah, I listened to the first one.
You like you some Goggins because he's an ultra marathoner, right?
Yeah.
He grabs you and tells you exactly what you need to hear.
Yeah, it does. So I got a second book. The first one I listened to, which was fun. On the road a lot, made it easy. But yeah, this one I'm gonna sit down next.
Yeah, I like audiobooks. The more I'm traveling now, the more I've got to like have somebody read in my ear. Otherwise, I will just waste time on social media again.
That's how I am. And actually, I just pulled up my what is this? Audible. I'm gonna read. I got it bought already. Life by Keith Richards. I heard it's really good.
Is it?
His
Keith
autobiography.
Richards from the Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Dude, I bet you. TK, have you read that one? Not yet.
Hers good.
We'll give TK an Audible credit.
Got you.
And he'll read it.
Yeah.
He's
Sounds
into
good.
all that
I got
rock
plenty
stuff.
of Audible credits.
Didn't the Stones Stones didn't come out with a new album? Didn't I see that?
TK?
Somebody just came out. Some old school rock group just came out with a new album after like 19 years of not producing one. I feel like it was the Rolling Stones, but
Might have been.
maybe. We'll have Google fact check us.
Yeah, someone will.
Brandon, Port City attorney, thanks for being here today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for showing up and always being an inspiration.
I'm a co-host.
Yeah, you're a co-host. I did. Oh, I forgot to do the co-host announcement. Now it's so routine.
Now it's so
just
routine.
like,
Everyone knows who we are.
Last week it was weird because Matt was back in the room, and it was like, I know.
Stench around.
I know. His musk, his smell. Brandon, you are the Port City attorney. If anybody needs to get in touch with you, they need to consult on some legal matters. Where should they reach out to you?
910-910-9010.
Yep.
You got a problem? Yo, I'll solve it.
It's better when you have the cowboy hat on and you say
right,
the number. But this is a professional attorney right here. My man is in rocking a paisley tie and a blue Oxford shirt.
I got a hearing in about 45 minutes.
Can you discuss the details? Is it interesting?
It is interesting, but I can't discuss the details.
All right.
It'd be cool if I could.
Yeah. Be a lot cooler if you could.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
My wife told me, everybody that's going to be watching or listening to this is going to call bullshit on it, but she's done it 2 times. She said, after I cut the beard off, she said, I have Matthew McConaughey's face with Bradley Cooper's hair. And I almost died of a heart attack.
I mean, those 2 people are who I think about.
2 most handsome. Yeah. Like, I fall asleep at night thinking about McConaughey and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, if you threw Chris Pratt in there too, I got a little man crush on Chris Pratt.
It's his personality, right? He's just like so sweet, and you just want to hug him all the time.
Yeah,
and he is handsome. He's a good-looking guy. But have you seen the younger like headshots of Chris Pratt, like when he had the beach blonde, wavy, curly tips and stuff? I'll send you one.
Ooh.
Oh, he's hot. Yeah. He was real good-looking.
Hot boy summer.
Chris Bradley, you are the Cape Fear investigator. There you go.
Wow.
The Cape Fear investigator, the best of the best.
TBD.
TBD?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe a rebrand.
Oh, a little rebrand. I'm thinking about doing a little rebrand too with the mustache, but also some new logos and stuff. It's time to freshen it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna start marketing directly to veterans.
All right, sweet.
Well, you haven't done that already.
So this, I got a closing question for folks based on our conversation today and what we just said. All right, if you are a business professional or even just someone that just wants to change it up, at what point do you think you should start dropping little hints about a rebrand? Should you lead up to it, or should you just do it?
Go cold turkey. That's a great question.
What do you guys think? Do you think go cold turkey, just do it? One day you're just a different brand, or do you tease it out?
Okay, that's a great question.
Because really, there's 2 schools of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see how people who have done that,
Yep.
How you navigate it if you wish you would have done it the other way.
Emil, clip this for us, and we'll put it together for social media, and we'll send that out on a reel. For the Port City attorney to post on his TikTok. All right, Chris, maybe not the Cape Fear investigator anymore. Maybe somebody else.
For now, he is.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, where should they go?
Call 910-762-4374 or CapeFearInvestigator.com.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And I'm Rob Renz. I'm your co-host.
LinkedIn?
One of 3 co-hosts. Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. Rob Renz on LinkedIn. I took Instagram off my phone, so you won't be able to get in touch with me. But, we did, and I'm going to preview it probably next week for you guys because we're putting the finishing touches on. But we have completed our first mini documentary for Task Force Dagger, about 32 minutes in runtime.
Let's go.
I watched it yesterday. My wife was weeping at points of it, and I don't know if she's just doing that because she wants to support me or if it was actually a good piece of media.
That's
but
cool.
I'll share it with you guys.
Please do.
So yeah, if you need video production, you need social media content, you want to start your own podcast, get in touch with me at rob@signalfire.media, and we'd be more than happy to chat that through with you.
Well, speaking of dropping hints, so when is this construction going to be done?
Construction going to be done? Probably around October 1st, somewhere in there is what we're targeting.
Really?
Yeah, beginning of October to middle of October.
So
Yeah,
like 3 weeks from
yeah,
now?
3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, we're blasting away on it right now. It's
Good for
cool. It's
you,
shaped like a
buddy.
baseball diamond, so we don't have to shoot into corners anymore, which TK is super pumped about.
Good
So
for you.
yeah. Got a lathe and a CNC machine. Going to cut out some stuff and have some cool RGB backlit walls and stuff like that. I'm really pumped about it.
Air
So
conditioning?
air conditioning. We hope it's better than the one we have here. That's for sure.
No, I'm excited for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Signal Fire puts out great content, so for sure, check out their new studio. Are you gonna do like tours?
Our new studio. Yeah, I think might do a little grand opening, a little VBC mixer or something over
I
there.
like it. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Have some non-alcoholic champagne or something.
You know what? I got an idea. We'll talk offline.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of Signal Fire Radio. That's the Port City Attorney, Brandon Pettyjohn. That's Chris Bradley, the Cape Fear Investigator, or TBD. I'm your co-host, Rob Renz. And until next time, go out, feed your mind, strengthen your body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe, and go be a Signal Fire in your community. We will talk to you in a couple weeks. Thank you.